I think there are some misunderstandings about the idea of gentle parenting.
Our decisions are informed by our own childhood.
Should you implement gentle parenting? Maybe.
In this video, we'll be going over gentle parenting and why we've seen this type of parenting on the rise. And it's important to note that before we dive into this video, I am not talking about permissive parenting or hell, even lack of parenting. That is different from gentle parenting. Gentle parenting explained. People love to lump gentle parenting and permissive parenting together, but they couldn't be more different. Gentle parenting is about kindness with structure, and then permissive parenting is basically just do whatever you want. When it comes to boundaries and discipline, gentle parenting makes it very clear what the rules are, but respectfully. Because remember, it's called gentle parenting, whereas I know for me, I had a lot of authoritative parenting and a lot of, well, I'm the parent, that's why, and I'm the mama, I said so, like that kind of vibe, and just getting like whoopings and stuff. And gentle parenting is like just being a more gentle in your approach to parenting, which to me, gentle parenting just means parenting. A gentle parent might say, hey, I know you want more screen time, but we can't do this right now. You need to go to bed. You need to get some rest because your body needs rest, and explaining it and really giving them the real reason as to why you're telling them to go to bed in the first place instead of just yelling at them. And with that same example, permissive parenting would be, oh, okay, it's fine. Go ahead and get another hour of watch time. Like, I don't want to make you upset, or it's okay. Like, you get another 30 minutes. That's not gentle parenting. Gentle parenting, that approach teaches self-control and more regulations of your emotions, and permissive parenting or lack thereof is just teaching a kid what they can get away with and how to negotiate. Gentle parenting also validates the emotions but separates them from the action. For example, hey, it's okay to feel angry. This is a feeling that you may be feeling. It's normal. Even I get angry sometimes, but just because you're angry doesn't give you the right to hit your brother or lash out, and you go down that route and they still get in trouble, but they get more of an explanation. Whereas permissive parenting oftentimes validates the emotion and the behavior. Like, hey, you're angry. I get it. Like, just go calm down, go watch some TV or something. Like, I get it. That shrug off, like the, oh, okay. Like, you're letting the kid get away with whatever they want, and that is not gentle parenting. All that does is that teaches kids that there's no real consequences to their behavior. And the long-term impact that we're seeing from these parenting styles is huge. The real gentle parenting that we'll be going through in this video is teaching kids who knows themselves, knows boundaries, has self-respect, develops emotional intelligence, and can regulate themselves. Permissive parenting, again, or lack thereof parenting in general, teaches kids just with no boundaries, that it's just a free world. And when you're raising a kid who's never heard no, who's never gotten in trouble, you're setting them up for failure in society. And that's why we see this rise of just bad kids with all these parents just shoving an iPad in their face and going about their day. That's not gentle parenting. And I get it. There's all these terms being flown around, and it's evident that there's no clear definition being shared across our society of what each parenting style is. But I'm here to say, at least I know from my own research that I've seen, parents that I've talked to, and all the comments that I've read on various forms of videos, gentle parenting is just is actual parenting. You still have consequences, and it's almost like the F around to find out, that kind of vibe, but just nice. You're not beating your kids. You're not lacking context. Like, you're actually being, like, to me, gentle parenting just means you're not a sergeant. Like, you're not a dictator. You're not mean. Like, you're still a parent, you're not your child's friend, but you're just gentle in your approach. To sum it up, gentle parenting is kindness with boundaries, while permissive parenting is kindness with zero boundaries. So with all that being said, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. And without further ado, let's dive right into this video.
Because you were bad at school, so keep...
Because my youngest decided to be bad at school and got sent home, thinking he would have a relaxing day at home, I made him clean and do random stuff all day, wait for the attempt of back talk.
Going.
That's all I can find.
Keep pulling the weeds.
That's all I can
One.
Now go wash your hands. Mom. Mom.
He's cleaning. Stop talking.
Ow.
That's awesome. Like, to me, that is gentle parenting. Like, instead of that kid coming home, getting a spanking and being sent to their room or being grounded, there was no explanation that. In this, it's like, hey, you are fine. You got sent home for being bad. Well, I'm going to put you to work. There's consequences to your actions. The mom isn't beating the kid. The kid isn't dying. He's just being put to work. There's consequences for his actions. He effed around and found out. And I think that's okay. Permissive parenting would have been, oh, it's fine. Go ahead and play your game. I pick you up some Chick-fil-A. That would be like permissive parenting. And then authoritative and like abusive parenting would be like they get a whole whooping, degraded, yelled at, the whole nine, with no clear consequence really other than just getting beat. That was good. I think that's totally fine.
Hey, my badass moms, this one's for you. Can we all agree collectively as a generation that authoritarian parenting is not it? It does not work. I just saw this video doing the rounds of a mom that yanked her middle schooler out of class, had him do burpees and push-ups as punishment for being disrespectful in class, lectured him. I don't want to shame her because we're all doing the best we very possibly can, and our decisions are informed by our own childhoods. I myself am a cycle breaker because my parents were authoritarian parents too. We acknowledge that by making him do burpees and push-ups, he's not learning how to be respectful. Instead, he's learning how to be compliant and afraid. While compliant and afraid is an immediate response reaction, which makes our hearts happy as people that are triggered independently, it is not helpful for your child to understand future tense how to actually show respect.
It depends. I think this depends because I do think the burpees, like the actual physical consequences of being bad and then a lesson and them being talked to and them understanding, especially after the fact, I think that's totally fine. You really can't go based off of exactly what you're saying in one clip and then just reprimand the mom for being bad. No. What if after the burpees and all the actual physical exercise that the kid had to do, they sat the kid down and said, hey, here's why you did this. Here's what's wrong. Here's how you change things. Yada, yada, yada. Like, that would be fine. That's not really authoritative parenting to me. At that, she brings up, you're teaching your kids to be compliant and afraid. I think we as a society need to stop being afraid of words and stop attributing such a heavy negative connotation to a lot of words. Okay, this person right here says she thinks it's wrong to raise a kid to be compliant and afraid. But just to flip the perspective for a second here, if you're in a 9 to 5, you are compliant and afraid. To a certain degree, you are compliant with the rules that have been set forth in your company. You don't act outside the norms. You follow the dress code. You are compliant. Hello, HR and compliance departments, you're compliant in your role. But then afraid, to a certain degree, some of us are afraid of our bosses. To a certain degree, you are afraid to mess up at your job because then you won't get paid and then you won't be able to pay your bills and won't be able to eat, pay your rent. Like, to a certain degree, being compliant and afraid does have its trade-off and its benefits because it raises a kid to understand, hey, you're gonna have these emotions later on in life, and you're gonna be put in spaces where you have to be compliant. And I don't know if afraid is the right word, but you are gonna be a subordinate. Like, you're gonna be under somebody some days. I don't think there's nothing really wrong with that.
Your kids. Doesn't mean you have to be soft. This doesn't mean you don't have to be mad or upset or irritated or whatever you're feeling. However, it means that you take the point of focus off of how you feel and your reaction, and you put it on your child and you ask how they feel and why they feel that way and what motivated them to make the choices that they make. You help them develop a plan to make it right. What are you going to do? Who are you going to talk to? What's your response going to be? Because clearly this decision was a poor one. Let's understand why it was a poor one and what can we do to make it right.
I think depending on the child you can do this with, you can just talk to a kid and they understand. But there are some feral children out there who need real world consequences. Sometimes it may be ass whooping sometimes, but only if they're actually going to be hurt or afraid. For example, if they're like attempting to touch a fire or touch a hot stuff, hey, I told you not to touch it. Whack, do not touch it. You're gonna get burned and this and this. Like, I did this because I care about you and I don't want you to hurt yourself. There's ways you can go about it, but straight up just talking to a kid with no type of consequence, that doesn't always work for people. That doesn't work for every child out there.
Should you implement gentle parenting? Maybe. At its core, gentle parenting is about respecting your child's emotions, avoiding punishment, and using positive reinforcement instead of traditional discipline. It's based on empathy, communication, and understanding, which in theory sounds like a great way to raise emotionally intelligent kids. But here's where it gets tricky. When there are no clear boundaries, kids struggle to develop self-regulation. While emotional validation is important, there's a fine line between being understanding and over-accommodating. Here's what happens when that line is crossed. Too much flexibility can make kids feel anxious and not real clear of what's expected from them.
Yep.
Studies show that kids thrive when there are clear, consistent rules. Children raised with over-permissive parenting have more difficulty managing frustration and are more likely to engage in defiance later in life. When children are always negotiating consequences, they may develop a sense of entitlement.
Yep, that entitlement's real. You need clear boundaries. I think gentle parenting with consequences, which I feel like most is normal parenting to me, that is accurate and that should be the case, because especially with the parents that I do know who have, like, I've seen them raise their kids and they're like, 9, 10 now. They're really good kids. And it's because of this gentle parenting and them being able to regulate their emotions, them being exposed to different type of things. And I don't know, it seems to be working out, and that they do have real world consequences. Sometimes they do get whoopings. Sometimes they do get put, in a timeout, or they get things taken, or they have to do chores around the house. But there are still clear consequences for their actions, and they will be getting in trouble.
To develop issues with authority figures and even peer relationships. The brain needs boundaries. When children have consistent age-appropriate consequences, their brains learn to associate actions with outcomes. This is how they develop impulse control and self-discipline, skills that they need to succeed into adulthood. Without this, kids may have poor coping skills and issues with self-regulation. Kids need both empathy and structure to thrive. When gentle parenting becomes too permissive, it can lead to emotional dysregulation and behavioral problems down the road.
Think about all the children that are growing up with permissive parenting, but two, think about all the children that are growing up without a father, because typically it's a father really laying in the rules and raising up young men. That's typically the father, because the mother is normally very soft in their approach and or too busy working to actually effectively parent in a way that two parents can collectively. And we see that especially in the Black community, sadly, with the lack of fathers. Hello, same here. It's not for everybody, but in large part, the lack of fathers in the home, you see the Black youth acting crazy, act like they don't have any consequences for their actions. They don't care about rules, society. It is what it is. But I appreciate how he did make a note to point out permissive parenting and what that brings up, because that's not the same as gentle parenting. Are there some parents out there that are extremely gentle? Yeah, but again, if you're extremely gentle, there's no boundaries, there's no consequences. That's not gentle parenting. That's just permissive parenting.
Should have got in the car when I told you to. How many times did I tell you to get in the car? Go get in your seat right now.
Now this is what real gentle parenting looks like.
Yes. To me, yes. Like, that is real gentle parenting. The kid, she wasn't really gonna leave the kid. She didn't beat the kid. She didn't harm. Like, it's literally just, hey, you effed around and found out. I was told you. We are leaving right now. There are consequences for your actions. If you don't listen, what happens? You leave. That teaches that kid, oh, when the bus is here to pick me up for school, I have to be there. It's not going to wait on me. Oh, the teacher's saying it's time to come in for recess. I got to go in now. Otherwise, I'm just out here stranded. Like, it teaches them a real lesson. I think that is incredibly better, and they learn the lesson faster than if the kid's putting up a fight, not wanting to get in the car, not wanting to leave, and you just yell at them, scream at them, or you just beat them and whoop them and get them in the car and just throw them in the car while they're screaming and crying. No, teach them a lesson.
No hitting, just drama. Truthfully, that's not good parenting to me. That's excellent parenting to me. Have you seen some of the crotch goblins running around? We had a situation at my son's school where these teenagers are going around breaking windows and things like that, and there's no repercussions for it because the parents are too afraid to do something about it.
Hello?
So the school is just having to pay to fix it, and they're trying to get donations from the parents, and they can't suspend anybody because, God forbid, you actually hold somebody accountable. Yeah, so leave them on the side of the road. Make them understand that you are in control. That little dude will never be late again. He understands when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yes.
It is the old school way of thinking of, you don't know what you don't know, but you're gonna learn today. Our parents were not perfect, but that right there is the FO part of the FAFO lesson. You forked around, and now you found out.
Yep.
Lesson complete. But the feeling of being left or abandoned is emotionally scarring. Yep.
Yeah.
And scars are tattoos with better stories. That probably really hurt his feelings. Maybe. If he doesn't want to feel that way again, I suggest he listens to his mama.
But hello, that's all you got to do. Listen to your parents. I think that was totally right. Let's go into some of these comments. A little trauma and full-on embarrassment are the right way to do it. I left the kids at home and went to dinner while texting them. You'll get in the car next time, won't you? Gentle parenting about natural consequences. There you go. Yes, absolutely. She was there to make sure he was still safe, yet showing him the consequences of his action or inaction. Yeah. Like, that's totally on par. That's totally great parenting to me. These kids need to learn lessons and be prepared for the real world because it is brutal. And while some of us out there may still have parents that we can run to when life gets hard, some of us don't. We don't always have that parent to rely on. We don't always have that person to contact and just talk to. And it's times like that where today's sponsor of this video, BetterHelp, comes in clutch because you are not alone. My sponsor, BetterHelp, will connect you with a therapist to help you find the answers to the questions and concerns you may be having. Instead of being stuck in an endless loop of questioning yourself, not having anyone to talk to, or just feeling outright just purely alone, you can talk through your concerns with someone who's trained to help you find real answers. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire and you'll be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And you can easily switch your therapist at no extra cost if it's not the right fit. They carefully make sure that the therapists on their platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is always there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. Going to therapy is a sign of strength, not weakness. Getting to know yourself more and talk with someone about how you are the way you are and why you do these things, it just propels you in life because you're able to learn way more about who you are as a person. Therapy is a tool, not a crutch, and it is a tool that equips you with the knowledge on how to navigate the world that's best for you. To get started, you can tap the link below, which will take you to betterhelp.com/Amir Odom, AMIRODOM. And with that, you will get 10% off your first month of therapy.
I absolutely love it for those parents that have the option of gentle parenting. I think it's amazing. But for those of us that have feral children, we must out-feral their feral. And we have to do this for the sake of our own survival. For example, this weekend, we were out at the campground in West Virginia, and my daughter wanted to climb a tree. And I said, absolutely, go climb that tree. Well, she wanted me to climb with her. So, of course, I climbed the tree with her. Well, while I'm up there, my 11-year-old son is playing water guns with his friends and proceeds to point the water gun at me. And I warned him. I said, I swear, if you shoot me with that water gun, I will leap from this tree and throw you in that lake. What did he do? Well, I'm a woman of my word. So I leap from the tree, potentially blowing out my left knee, chase him around the camper probably 12 times, one time completely eating shit. But I was committed. So I got back up, put him in a chokehold, and proceeded to throw him into the lake. Did I come out with a few battle wounds? I did. But was my son and daughter, who witnessed everything, also reminded that their mother was feral way before they were born, and I will always be able to whoop their tail no matter their age or size? Also, yes.
That's awesome. That was a great story. And again, that's, to me, that's gentle parenting. You didn't like beat the kid. You didn't scream at them. You didn't embarrass him in front of his friends. You didn't lash out. Like, you gave him a consequence. You told him, hey, if you do this, I'm going to throw you in the water. And he did it, and you threw him in the water. You just effed around and found out. It was gentle. Again, you didn't strike him. It wasn't very authoritative, but it wasn't permissive either, where he shot you and you were like, I told you not to do that, and you get angry yourself. No, you parented. Like, that was parenting. Curious again what the comments say on this one. If you don't follow through with your own word, they will never respect your word. Good job. And I get it. There are some kids out there that you can just talk to and be extra gentle with them, and they get it, but you got the consequences you after all found out. Like the little boy running towards the car because the mama was leaving, you found out. You have natural consequences. And this goes back to that example that I gave of the definition of gentle parenting is kindness, but with boundaries. And permissive parenting is kindness with no boundaries. And authoritarian and just being mean, that there's no kindness at all in that aspect. You're just getting yelled at and beat. And this is gentle.
I think there are some misunderstandings about the idea of gentle parenting. I think it's a very wide spectrum when it comes to gentle parenting, where I've seen that there are people who gentle parent in a way that their kids have no boundaries and are never told no. And I just don't feel as though my kids would be equipped to enter the world and hear no from other people, which is a legitimate answer outside of our house, if they don't receive it at home. So we don't meet people on that end of the gentle parenting side. But I've also seen quite a few people on my algorithm discussing that it's not always this like very coddly, spoiled situation where they just get to do what they want. Sometimes it's just trying your best not to raise your voice, making sure that you explain why you're telling them not to do something or why you're asking them to do something. Or even just explaining what the consequences are going to be ahead of time, like giving them an opportunity to to receive information and make a decision on their own. But also
That's
my
how they
kids are
learn.
5, 3, and 2. So I will guide them in their decision making at this point.
Yeah, you're still gonna guide them to their decision making, but at least they're starting to learn words, and there's consequences to their action. There is. And I think a part of gentle parenting is a huge aspect of the gentle part on your own, not raising your voice, making sure you're explaining why they're getting in trouble, explaining why you're telling them what they need to do, like just raising them. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's just raising a kid. But I feel like this rise of what we've seen online and what people are referring to as gentle parenting, it is split. It is definitely split, and people confusing it with permissive parenting, and then people forgetting that there is still consequences that come with gentle, but the gentle part comes with our approach as parents, because for a lot of millennials, we dealt with some batshit crazy parents that were not gentle at all. And on one end, adding in that gentle approach, adding in the explanation, adding in those things builds up a quality kid, but we can still have those consequences that we did have growing up. It's just now you're raising a more mature and well-rounded kid to really process things for themselves, use their voice, advocate for themselves, and really uplifting them. You can get a kid could get in trouble and still learn a lesson and be uplifted. That can still happen. It's just we're removing this aspect of you're telling a kid something, they said no, what bam, they be, or you're not really explaining to them what's really going on. They got to sit there with themselves and process like, damn, what the hell did I do? You're not leaving the kid confused anymore. They know why they're getting in trouble. They know why they're being told what's going on. And so long for me growing up, whenever I asked a question, it was just met with because I said so. I'm the parent, that's why, or because I said so. That did nothing for me. I'm not learning anything from that. I'm not, it's not rude for a kid to ask why. They're new to this planet. They don't fucking know, you know? So it's not wrong to be gentle, like, hey, this is why. This is what happens. You have these two options. You either eat or you're just going to be hungry. Like, oh, you don't want to go to school with your coat? All right, bet. Go. Like, you're letting them experience life, but like you're still guiding them. You're still watching them. You're still taking care of them. But you're letting them make decisions, and they mess up, and there's independence there, and that's good for them. You don't want to raise some coddly baby and then they turn 18 and they're out in the real world and they're just a hot mess. You don't want that. And you don't want them to be that annoying person either that always needs like special accommodations or whatever it may be just because that's what they were raised with. You don't want that either.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, and ask me.
I need to meet this woman. I do. We reacted to her on a lot of my parenting videos because she's just well-rounded. She's awesome. I love all her takes. I need to reach out to her. I'm going to reach out to her because she has a lot of good things to say all the time.
How many I have to give, because I can tell you right now, not one. I have had a lot of parents inbox me and ask me what should they do if their toddler just continues to hit them. They said they have been gentle. They have asked them to stop. They've tried timeout. And I'm telling you right now, all you need to do is hit them the back. It is not rocket science. And for all of you parents who want to tell me, oh, that is abuse, that's not the way to do it, have every seat available, because I am telling you, yes, it is. Because do you think for 1 minute when your child goes out into this world and they go hit another child, that child is going to react gentle and say, please don't hit me, please have a seat and take a time out? No, they're not. They're going to hit your child back. They're going to knock them the out. Your child has to know that behavior is not okay. And the best way to teach that it is not okay is to do it to them, because they're not going to like the way it feels, just like you don't like it. The bottom line is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Hit them the back.
Hit them back. That's still gentle parenting. It's like, if you hit me, I'm not, hey, don't do that. We don't do that because it hurts people. For some kids, it may work. And for some other kids, obviously your own, it may not work. They may hit you and you just whop. But yeah, you didn't like that, did you? That's what happens when you hit somebody. I'm doing this so nobody else does it for you. And you go on and explain what happened and you work it out. No big deal. It's fine. But you need to, that's the consequences. See, it all comes back down to consequences. There's consequences to your action. I'm gentle in my approach. I'm gentle after the approach. But you F around, you're going to find out, and you're still going to get that consequence. And there's too many people out there conflating again. They're acting like that doesn't happen in gentle parenting. No, it does. There's still consequences with gentle parenting. That, oh, like, don't hit me. don't hit me. Hey, I told you. That's permissive, okay? That's just permissive. It is. Like, they need consequences. They need to know when they can't mess around like that.
Because see, gentle parenting doesn't work for me. Gentle parenting is for gentle children. No, wrong. Y'all are just not doing it right. I see people, hear people, friends, people online, people out in the world who think they're gentle parenting, and literally almost every single time when I hear them say, oh, it's not working, or they're getting it's not working because it's permissive parenting. Y'all have to stop believing everything that you see on this app and IG and read a book, listen to a podcast, literally teach yourself what gentle parenting is and what it is not. And good Lord, if you're going to believe people on this app, make sure that they are qualified to be giving advice. Because I've even seen some really big mommy content creators who have no psychological, educational, child development background who are like, this is an example of me gentle parenting. No, it's not. And that's why it's not working.
Extremely valid. There's a lot of people out there claiming that something is gentle parenting and it's not. It's permissive parenting, lack of parenting, no consequences, very soft approach, just like free willy-nilly, and that is not what gentle parenting is. And that's in big part why I wanted to make this video. I've been talking about making this video for a long time, since my last parenting video that went extremely viral. Shout out for y'all for sharing that. That's insane. But I've been meaning to make this video because for so long, I keep seeing people talk about gentle parenting, gentle parenting, gentle parenting, and it's everything but gentle parenting. That's what's been confusing me. And I go to every single comment section and it's people in the comments like, that's not gentle. So I wanted to make this video to shout out to the real gentle parents out there who are advocating on behalf of themselves and their children, but still with consequences, and they're still being kind. Shout out to y'all if y'all are doing that. I see my friends and them raising their kids this way, and it's amazing to see what these kids are turning out like. It is just, it baffles my mind. They're so well behaved, they're so awesome, they're so cool to be around, and it's a direct result from the parenting of my great, amazing friends, and I'm so proud of them. And all the parents out there, if you're watching this video right now, not even just my friends, parents out there in general, I'm proud of you. I know it's hard sometimes. I know it can be probably very discouraging and very vulnerable, but you're doing what you can. And it's a parent, you know the receipts. I know from my friends, but you know for yourself and how people talk about you and talk about your kids, you know if you're doing a good job. So it is okay for once to just pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, I am doing a good job as a mother, as a father, as a caretaker, whatever it may be. So as always, let me know in the comments below, did anything in this video resonate with you? Do you feel like I represented gentle parenting in the right, correct way? Do you understand now that, did I give breath to some frustrations that you have been feeling with people conflating gentle parenting with like lack of parenting or permissive parenting? Let me know. And let me know if you are a parent out there and let's just say ages 4 to 12. Really, I mean, I can go higher. I can go higher for the teenagers, but I'm very curious, like 4 to 12, if you have gentle parented, how has that been going for you? Has it been working? Do you have any tips? Share some tips in the comments below for other parents out there. That's what I want you to do. One, as always, leave a comment below telling me like another video topic you want to hear me talk about and other type of parenting styles you want me to discuss. I'm down for all that. I still gotta make one on the crunching mamas. I gotta do that. But let me know too, let me know in the comments below some tips that you like to share for other parents out there. Anything that's really worked for you, what didn't work for you. Make it a whole like hub of advice and tips. That would be great. So with all that being said, thank you for your time, first and foremost, for being here, spending this time with me, watching this video. It means the world to me, whether you're sitting down on the couch, chilling, eating a meal, on a walk with the dog, in the car, just laid up in bed. It don't matter. We're friends. Hello. Hi, Amir. What's up, fam? Thank you for the support. It means a ton. And most importantly, I hope that you understand and know that you can achieve anything you put your mind to in this world. If you just lock in, focus on you, and you only tunnel vision, you can achieve anything you put your mind to. But you listen, you can't be discouraged by whatever you got going on in your life right now. Obviously, take care of it, but just be mindful that it's called going through it for a reason. You're not stuck there. You're going to survive. Whatever you're going through right now, it is a season and it will pass. So I say all that to say, keep your head up. It's going to be okay. And I love you a ton. So with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video. My name is Amir Odom, and deuces.